The blasphemy unmask. Forgive me, my friends, but I must return to Megaduta for the time being. There I can better manage the crisis and dispatch my troops as the situation demands. In that case, we shall carry out an investigation of our own here in the city. Mayhap the residents can tell us more about the first of the transformations and the conditions under which it occurred. If you can ascertain what exactly triggered these tragic events, it may give us some insight as to the possible solution. Time is of the essence. Let us split into three groups that may cover more ground. Alize and I will see to Pax's path. Thancred and Yashtula, Bray make for Dharma. I'll leave Arthur to Graha and you, Laverne. Any information you can gather on the first blasphemy or the manifestation of the final days here in the city would be most helpful. Then we may have completed our respective inquiries. Let us reconvene in front of the Magaduta, that we might share what we have learned with the satrap. Shall we be off then? Arthur is home to the High Crucible of Alchemiha, whose alchemists forged many of our warding scales. That seems as good as a place as any to begin our investigation, don't you think? I spoke briefly with Nuhadin, the chief alchemist there, on our last visit. He should be happy to answer our queries. And the usual of that. Let's see if we can attune to the ether right now. Would be nice. Probably not, to be fair. Yeah. I would assume after we finish with this. Which makes sense. Also, ah, remember those red eyes. You were those scions who commissioned the scales from us, yes? I welcome you back to the High Crucible. What brings you here in these troubling times? We are assisting the satrap in investigating the crisis that plagues the city. Did you happen to catch sight of any of these creatures? I did. I was going about my work. I was disturbed by crashing footsteps so powerful that the very ground shook. I rushed outside and couldn't believe what I beheld. The night sky was burning. Suddenly, I heard panicked screams coming from the direction of Barshan Bazaar. The next instant, a monstrous beast poked its head out from amidst the stalls. A handful of the Radiant rushed to the scene, only to be sent sprawling as the fiend and its minions propelled themselves skyward. So the blasphemy came from the vicinity of the markets. This knowledge may be prove useful. I thank you for sharing your tale. Well, I do believe we now know where we should inquire next. To the bazaar, then. Okay. Really? Discuss the textile stalls at this moment? So this is Fafnarian weave. I must say it bears a resemblance to the traditional fabrics of Corvus. Small wonder really, given that it's just across the water. But I am much of an expert in Korvosi culture, of course, I've not had the occasion to visit my ancestral home since coming to Sharlayan, and like as not, I will never reside there again. That said, in recent days I've felt more acutely aware of my heritage, and grateful for it. It is thanks to my forebears that I inherited the royal eye, and with it, the wisdom of ancient Alec. And so, well, I simply hope that my countrymen are safe, and one day, when this calamity is but memory, would like to see Corvus again, if only once. We are... I'm so assuming we are going to go there now. It's been... It came up so many times. Forgive me, but my shop's closed until further notice. Needless to say, we've more pressing concerns these days. We've come not in search of wares, but information concerning the enormous fiend that tore through the bazaar. Did you perchance witness anything? Afraid not, my friend. I was here the whole time, so I only saw its little minions who made a mess of the place, they did. While that was all going on, the great big one tore through the west side of the bazaar. You'd have better luck asking there. Okay. And ask there we shall. I'm just gonna double check if there's not... There isn't. Okay. Zaitanur. Is something in the matter, traveler? If you're lost, perhaps I could be of assistance. Your offer is most appreciated. We are not lost, but we are in need of information. Might you know anything about the gargantuan beast that rampaged through the bazaar? I saw it all, though I wish I had not. Was going about my work when all of a sudden a piercing scream cut through the air. I turned around and there was the fiend, its massive body bursting through the entryway with the force of a tidal wave. And then it was gone as quickly as it came. We still don't know who it was. And I'm pretty sure that is what we are going to find out now. Sisters have mercy. What is happening to the world? What I'm to do is nowhere safe. Settle down, friend. The danger has passed, at least for now. If it's not too painful to remember, could you tell us what you saw? First, I heard screams, and a horde of ravening beasts came charging toward us. One of them was huge, bigger than a Merit, throwing people around like ragdolls, and was eating them. I hid under the counter, saw others do the same. The shrieking and wailing kept getting louder, more voices in a throng. Beasts or victims, I couldn't tell. I knew not what was happening. I still don't. That's enough, my good man. You were brave to share with us your tale. Many of your fellow merchants are safe. The High Crucible, too, has survived mostly unscathed. Pray stay close to your friends and loved ones, and rest your body and mind while you are able. I suspect that it's the most we can expect the people here to tell us. I think it best we find a place outside the bazaar where we might rest and review our findings. Sure. It obviously would be nice if right now all of this looked, you know, disheveled. Oh well. Can't have it all, I guess. Judging by their accounts, the transformation already occurred by the time the beast reached the bazaar. It tore through the west side of the bazaar headed towards the Ifrit Plaza. In other words, the blasphemy may have first appeared in this vicinity. That being the case, the people on that Mayhain can surely tell us more. Fearful Cure. That's not a good start. Holy. Damn. That doesn't look good. Going after that enormous beast, are you? Aye, I saw it, including the very instant that poor bastard transformed. Damn the gods for putting me there. It started over there by the window. A few men, merchants, probably talking and drinking. Conversation must have taken a turn for the worst. Next thing I know, the leader, I suppose he was, burst his head in his hands and black mist was swirling about him. And his whole body bursts apart and there stands a hideous, slavering beast, massive and foul, all gaping maws and bulging eyes. His friends start shrieking, then the black mist comes again, until the change takes them too. The stuff of nightmares, I'll tell you. Nightmarish indeed. Incidentally, do you perchance know who those merchants were? No, I'm a decorator by trade, not much cause to mingle with their sort. Saw Milel, the barmaid, chatting with them, though. She might know something. That poor fucking woman. That is not the... Huh? Oh, pardon me, I was just... Anyway, take a seat wherever you like. We're open for business, as per usual. I wish I could just talk to her right now. But oh well. Even after repairing all that damage, it'll take a while for business to pick up again. You mean the blasphemy? That's what the Radiant have been calling it anyway. I saw it too, we all did. I was standing here at the counter as Marie poured me a drink, and suddenly there came that dreadful sound, like a pained, angry groan. It was unlike anything I've ever heard. I turned it around in shock, and from an ominous cloud of black mist rose the creature, enormous and ghastly to behold. As for what happened next, to recall it sends shivers up my spine. By some stroke of fortune, I was able to slip outside before the beast got its claws on me. The sight that greeted me offered no solace. The blue sky above turned red as blood. Marie, myself, and the other survivors clung to each other for dear life until the Radiant host came to our aid. Wait, did I hear you correctly? The beast manifested before the sky began to burn? I'm certain of it. The windows here offer a clear view of the sky, and I saw nothing out of the ordinary until the beast appeared and began to rage. That is interesting. Oh, hello there. Welcome to Marid's Mahane. What can I get you? We have come not for libations, but rather for information. You are Milel, yes? We have investigated the so-called blasphemy on the satrap's behalf. We hear it was one of your customers, a merchant, that first underwent the information. What can you tell us about him? He was something of a regular here, especially of late. Kazar was his... That name rings a bell. What's his name? He ran his own oh, no. Oh, no. Kazal was his name. He ran his own consortium, dealing primarily in the export of Ravnarian specialties. It's through him we met Matzia. Yes, the name rings a bell. Didn't you meet them both on your first trip to Fafnir? If I recall correctly, Kazal ran a trading operation in Yetlimat, and it was there that you made Matzia's acquaintance. Yes, that is the same Matzia, the same Kazal, no doubt. A rather successful man from what I gather. That said, it was clear that he had fallen on hard times of late. Those ghastly towers popping up everywhere cannot have been good for business. Even now, with the towers gone, the collapse of the Empire has led to all sorts of problems elsewhere. The market for luxuries is surely not what it once was. Trying times for the head of a trading consortium indeed. Kazal was a compassionate man. Even as his own business suffered, he did what he could to provide for the artisans, fishermen, and many others who counted on him to sell their wares. Indeed, that was the very topic of yesterday's meeting, as far as I could hear. Yet as they discussed matters further, Kazal's tone grew grave and grim. It was then that... Forgive me, I would not have you recall a memory if it brings you pain. If I could, I would ask just one more thing. Did you notice anything unusual about Kazal in particular? Please, anything at all. Sorry, nothing springs to mind. Perhaps someone else can help you. Kazal lived for his work, and had no family that I know of. His employers and associates knew him best, but they too are lost to us. Still, perhaps his neighbors know something I do not. I can direct you to them if you believe it would help. What do you say? A lead is a lead, and I take what I can get. So, let's talk to you first. Thanks, Milal. It appears we have a new lead. Let us leave no stone unturned. Kazal made his home in Kama, a nearby residential area. From what I gather, Kazal lived there since childhood and was known throughout the neighborhood. Kama, the name is new to me. How do you get there? I'll write down some directions. I cannot promise that you will find what you seek there, but if nothing else, it is a start. Come, let's see where this takes us. Forgive me, I know nothing of this blasphemy, nor what caused those poor men to take on such hideous forms. That said, I could tell that Kazal cared deeply for his colleagues and clients. He did not seem the sort to willingly damage the trust they placed in him. Yeah. Makes sense. Ask for directions. Cute. Let's see. After leaving the Mahane, we're to retrace our steps and head back towards the Ifrit Plaza. Doesn't directly matter if you go left or right. Ask for directions. From here, we ascend the stairs. That's all? Okay. I mean, it's good enough information. It's quite a way, quite a walk from here. Ah, this must be Yush. In which case, we should take the path leading southeast. Okay, nothing too interesting there. If we keep going this way, we should arrive in Kama before long. Walking these unfamiliar streets is quite the adventure, is it not? I can only hope we can explore Rasathan at our leisure once this crisis has passed. And we have arrived. And this must be Kama. We have arrived at last. Let us begin questioning the residents without delay. No doubt someone here can tell us more about Kalzal. Given recent events, I imagine many are taking shelter indoors. That would be prudent, yes. Well, apparently not everyone. Surely, yes, of course. Get the information on Karma while Gerard here is accompanying you. 0 out of 2. Pariga. Huh? Could you come back another time? I just woke up and I'm not exactly in the mood for idle chit-chat. Well, that's one way to avoid the panic, I suppose. Pardon our intrusion. You may not have noticed, but a great danger has come to Fafnir. I encourage you to stay alert and prepare to flee the city should the situation turn dire. But before we leave you in peace, pray allow us to ask a question or two. Did you know a local merchant named Kalzal? If so, did you notice anything unusual about him recently? Kalzal? I know him. In fact, we spoke just the other day. Like many others, his business was doing poorly. Still, it seemed as though he'd managed to turn things around, thanks to a generous order from Rivida Fibers. Why, he was practically dancing in the streets. I haven't spoken with him since, but I assume it all went well. Junebaha might be able to tell you more, though. As I recall, he was the one who brokered the arrangement. Junebaha at Rivida Fibers. Let's make the point to visit him after we've spoken with other locals. Okay. Just casually walking into people's houses. Martin. Kazal, you say? Yes, I've known him since he was a boy. If there was ever a man who was born to be a merchant, it was him. Always early to depart and late to return, he'd spend his days procuring the finest wares and seeking out willing customers. You'd say it came to him as easily as breathing. Sadly, business was flagging of late, no surprise really, what with how dangerous travel has become. He was cooped up in his house from dawn till dusk the other day, no doubt racking his brain for a way to turn his fortunes around. Then at night I heard the door open. I looked out to see Kalzal sitting on a bench, his head hung low, a man with the weight of the world on his shoulders. I see, the situation must have been quite dire indeed. Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary? Nothing to speak of other than the troubles with his consortium. He was the same old Khazar, cordial and honest, like always. These questions you are asking, has something happened to him? He wasn't caught up in that terrible incident at the bazaar, was he? I don't travel much these days, but my daughters told me not to venture outside. Stuck in here as I am, I have heard little about these bazaar goings on. Rest assured, the city is safe for now, but the situation may change without warning. I urge you, stay close to your daughter and be prepared to take refuge should the satrap order it. Careful to not say anything in regards to Khazal. I see what you did there. Whoops. If I'm not mistaken, these stairs lead to Dharma. It is quite the sight, the red sky above. During the final days of yore, the heavens burned and the stars fell. Creation magics ran amok. That was my assumption when I saw Amarot. Perhaps the ancients believed the same, that the terror of a single powerful individual was the cause of the calamity. And yet, those self-same horrors now manifest themselves before our eyes. What could it be that sets the heavens aflame and turns ordinary men into beasts? Good question. They are farming silkworms. This must be river dye fibers where we should find Jinabaha. Yes. And hurry, I say, there's no time to waste. Pardon me, but you're in charge of buying and selling here, yes? We have a few questions that we would like to... I'm sorry, but I simply don't have time to chat. If you haven't noticed, we have our hands full at the moment. We must carry all our wares and equipment to safety before these accursed beasts return. In that case, might we be of assistance? Perhaps we could speak when the job is done. 2 more pair of hands. Very well. You can start by helping us move our equipment. Ask the others what to put where. How about you use a levitation spell? And you can carry our fabrics. Go through that door and speak with Kamala. She will tell you the rest. Remember, these textiles are our livelihood. Handle them with care. Will do. This area is for employees out only. Out! Out! What's that? You've come to help? Oh, praise be the Minduruva. Kind stranger, I welcome your assistance. On your way here, you pass the 3 storehouses. Yes? I'd like you to carry that small crate to Nabrifal, but the storehouse near the hatchery. The crate of clothing is for Manua. And that massive crate there goes to Zemira by the middle storehouse. Watch your back with that one. Those are all the crates we have ready. Once they've been delivered, consider your work here complete. You will have limited time to complete the task. Should you fail, return to the starting location and begin anew. Okay, light crate. Threat, is it? Then you've come to the right place. We thank you for your aid. If you have any crates of finished products, such as carpets, clothing, and the like, pray bring them here to our primary storehouse. A crate of clothing, is it? I can take that off your hands. Many thanks for the delivery. Load bearing. No shit. I say, you're quite the brawny one, aren't you? A good thing, Dot. Never know when you will need to defend yourselves in these unpredictable times. A credible fabric is exactly what I was hoping to receive. Here, let me put that away for you. Nice. Oh, easy. You've carried all the crates to the storehouses, you say? And so quickly, too. Why, I've never seen anyone so strong. I and my associates will see to the rest, so please return to Jinabaha and assure him our work is proceeding apace. To tell the truth, we're grateful for this distraction. Too many terrible happenings of late, but generous souls like yourself give me hope that we may emerge from this trial even stronger. I pray we meet again in more peaceful times. Done as I ask, have you? If Kamala is satisfied with your work, then so am I. You have done us a great favor, traveler. I too have delivered the instruments and the apparatuses entrusted to me. You both have my thanks. With our wares safely stored away, we will not lose any more to those fiends. I take it that your establishment did not escape the attack unscathed. We did not. Thankfully, most of our workers had already left for the day, but those of us still here saw it all. We looked to the burning skies in confusion, and then, before we could even begin to make sense of it, a hideous creature burst through the doors, shrieking. We ran for our lives, but one of my colleagues was not so fortunate. He cried out, a scream of such agony, such terror, and the next instant he too spread out fearsome claws. The sight of it caused another fellow to panic, and then he too transformed. I'm sorry, was something you wanted to ask? Indeed, you knew the merchant Khazal, did you not? I believe he had some dealings with your establishment. Khazal, I know him well. We arranged for his consortium to deliver a large shipment of fabrics, but in the end we received a better offer and had to turn him down. I understand his business is struggling, but so is ours. Another of our most reliable trading partners agreed to transport the goods for a much smaller commission, and we'd have been fools to refuse. I feel terrible for withdrawing the offer, but you must understand, we simply had no choice. He tried to put on a brave face when I delivered the news, but his dejection and despair were plain as day. He said he'd discuss it with his associates, but I could tell he'd all but given up hope. Dejection and despair. You remember what we saw in Vanaspati, yes? Soldiers and jungle dwellers pushed to the very brink, turning into beasts, one after the next. It would seem the same phenomenon occurred here. The poor craftsmen attacked by the fiends, as well as those that witnessed it, all undergoing the change. I suspect that everything began with Khazal. By all accounts, it was he who suffered from the most profound and piercing despair. Wait, could that be it? That such intense emotions were what triggered his transformation? Which remains unclear, but I believe we are drawing closer to an answer. At any rate, we must discuss our findings with the others. So, I guess we're going back to Akasha. Can the despair in a man's own heart consign him to such a terrible fate? Beyond the depths of despair. We were to reconvene with the others in front of Magaduta, were we not? That should be just outside. With any luck, they will have already returned from their own investigations. My friend, we must take our leave. I pray that your establishment is spared further tragedy, but remember, your lives are far more precious than any wares. If you are ordered to flee, do so without hesitation. Indeed, I thank you for your concern, and pray you too take care as well. Same sentence again. Finish your rounds and ready to share. Guess the rest hasn't returned yet.
There you are. You've spoken with the survivors.
Indeed.
Oh.
Fortuitous timing. Alize and I completed our own investigations not long ago.
Raha said, sorry for cutting that off. Indeed, we thought to share what we have gleaned, that we might together gain a greater understanding of present circumstances. And often knows, fortuitous timing, Alize and I completed our own investigations not long ago. Sorry
Then
for
we
that.
should take a moment to compare notes. Shall we begin with the two of you?
So the merchant Karzal was gravely concerned about his business in the days preceding his untimely end.
The tales we heard were much the same. The first victims to be changed into blasphemies were all overcome with anguish of one manner or another. Then those who saw their loved ones stolen before their eyes succumbed to a similar panic, setting in motion a chain of transformations.
Fear, unease, despair. These negative feelings serve as a catalyst.
If so, then it is not unlike the calamity that befell the ancients. With their creation magics, they unwittingly gave form to untold horrors. Had they simply lost control, surely it would have manifested in many forms, not all of them monstrous. Yet somehow, this phenomenon is triggered solely by the darkness in their hearts, a common thread with what we now witness.
Common, but not identical. While the beasts the ancients faced were forged with magic alone, those of today are born of sentient beings. Why remains to be seen, but there is one fundamental difference between us and our predecessors. Our souls are sundered, whereas theirs were not. Perhaps that single variable makes all the difference.
If I may, there was another detail that troubled me. We have it on good authority that Karzal's transformation took place before the skies began to burn.
What? If that's true, then the situation's more dire than we realized. It means even if there's no ominous sign presaging the final days, anyone, anywhere, has the potential to become a beast. Even in lands we thought safe, even as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
Look! It's the Satrap! The Satrap!
Thank the heavens.
Thank the heavens, indeed.
My countrymen, I am relieved and heartened to see you strong and safe. While the danger has not yet passed, far from it, allow me to assure you that the beasts that raged within the city walls have been exterminated to the last. Outside this sanctuary, the brave men and women of the Radiant Host and our dragon ally continue to battle our unholy foes. I pray these tidings put your minds at ease and help you calm your hearts. Have faith that we shall soon conquer this terrible trial.
Your Excellency, is there any word from Palaka's stand? My grandson was bound for there yesterday, and I worry for his life.
We are still awaiting a report, but I promise you, as soon as I have aught to share...
Your Excellency, I bring grave news.
I don't like the sound of that.
You are?
I'm Matya of Akyali, a humble fisherman.
I remember you.
Ah, I remember you from our first visit.
Wait, you're... But no, that can wait. When the skies turned red, I set off for Palaka's stand, fearing for the safety of a friend. But as I drew near the village, I saw dreadful beasts all about.
No! Gods have mercy! Your Excellency! Save my grandson, I beg of you!
We will spare no effort to save all we can, but you must remain calm.
Calm? You tell me to be calm? You saw those beasts? They tore our bravest warriors limb from limb! What if we are too late, huh? They catch him, sink their fangs into him? The fangs! Oh, the screams!
Get away from her, now!
More and more and more.
Damn it! We've got to kill them before it spreads.
We'll handle this. See the townspeople to safety.
Run as fast as you can!
Oh God.
You must save them.
Wow.
My son. This is not true.
Enough! You must run. For their sake and your own. Yes, you will survive. You must.
The first one who could be saved. It's a start. It's a start, Graha. Oh no. What are you doing, Graha?
Be strong, my friends! Fear not, for we will defeat these abominations!
I mean, you have 100 years.
Brave men and women of the Radiant Host, lend your Stola and Thancred your aid. Let not a single beast escape. The rest of you, flee this place. Carry the wounded if you must. Head indoors or underground.
He was the leader of the
Above
Crystarium.
all, stay calm. No beast will follow you. We will see to that.
For 100 years. He stood against the...
Alphino! Alizé! Leave the city to us! And make for Palaka's stand at once!
For 100 years.
Matsya, show my friends to the village! I promise you, they're more capable than the host's finest!
Right! Go with them, will you? We will save these people. As many as we can.
Okay.